All good? No pressure. Good evening, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. Welcome to the Euclid Township Board of Supervisors meeting for the month of February. A few housekeeping items before we begin. Just a note that tonight's meeting is being both recorded and live streamed to our township YouTube channel. I'd also like to announce that the township met in executive session before tonight's meeting on February 9th to discuss litigation. And with that, I will ask you to rise to recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic with liberty for all. All right, before we get into our agenda tonight, I want to draw your attention to the Euclid Township policy approving public participation rules and guidelines for our meetings, which may or may not be on the back of our agenda this evening. Just to outline a few points, any residents or taxpayers of the township who wish to address the board during the public comment period at the end of the public meeting should sign their names to a sign-in sheet, which is provided by the township, the table at the back of the room. Speakers must identify themselves by name and street name. A business or an organization is encouraged to designate one person to present comments on its behalf. The speaker must direct all comments to the Board of Supervisors and not to staff. Each speaker is recognized by the board chair and will be given 3 minutes to comment during the public comment period. No official board action will be taken on items presented during the public comment period at the end of the meeting. Items may be referred to township staff or the appropriate working group or committee for further research and discussion. Matters addressed publicly to the board will be taken under advisement, and either the board will respond to the person raising the issue directly at a later date, or the board will respond to the items during a future public meeting as a formal agenda item. The board does not need to engage in discussion on comments offered. While the public has the right to make critical remarks, the public does not have the right to disrupt meetings. In cases of serious disruption, the board will adjourn the meeting or take other such action to resolve the disruption as appropriate under the circumstances. All right, with that, we'll move on to our meeting agenda. First up, do we have a motion to approve the minutes of the February 12th, 2026 meeting and the February 5th, 2026 workshop meeting?
Make a motion to approve the minutes from the January 12th and February 5th, 2026 meetings.
Second. Is there any board questions or comments?
No.
Any public comment? Seeing none, I'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Moving on to the reports for this evening. First up, we have the police report.
Good evening, Supervisors, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to report on January 2026. The officers took 914 entries in the police department reporting system. During this period, the officers also issued 36 traffic citations, investigated 37 motor vehicle crashes, and arrested 7 individuals. Additionally, from January, department members conducted 2 motor carrier details at the weight station, resulting in 699 commercial vehicles being weighed, 2 of which were found to be overweight. The officers carried out 10 inspections requiring 3 vehicles and 1 driver to be placed out of service. During the details, the officers were assisted by Westchester and Nether Providence Police Department. During the normal work days, Officer Scott Luddy performed 2 commercial vehicle inspections on his own. Also included in my report was a comparison of the 2026 and 2025 calls for service and other activities by the police officers. Also, there were no Narcan administrations during the month of January.
Great, thank you. Treasurer's report.
Good evening. Through the month of January, in the general fund, we've collected just about 5.5% of our budgeted revenues and have spent just under 7.5% of our budgeted expenditure.
Thank you. Public Works.
Good evening. For the month of January, the road department acquired all of the C-top, like inlet tops, for the year's paving project. They installed a street sign at Clydesdale Court and Wagon Trail Way, assisted in repairing a sewer main on Biddle Drive, They did vehicle inspections and maintenance on public works, police, and administration vehicles. They salted and plowed on January 1st, 17th, 18th, 25th, and 26th. And they hauled out snow in the gardens and overlooked sections of Eagle View development because of the tightness of those developments. They performed snow blowing operations throughout the township. The sewer department, the daily average flow to the Downingtown Area Regional Authority Treatment Facility was 1.31 million gallons per day. We recorded 0.93 inches of rain for the month, giving the township a rainfall deficit of 2.17 inches for the year. They responded to 97 PA1 call notifications, and the staff cleaned and televised 1,710 feet of storm pipe. They repaired a sewer main on Biddle Drive, and they assisted with the salting and plowing in the 6 snow events. They cleaned and repaired vehicles and equipment after the snow events. For the Parks Department, they performed weekly park checks. The staff assisted the road department with plowing and snow blowing the streets. They repaired damaged plows after the snow events, installed thermoplastics around manholes, and replaced damaged mailboxes.
Thank you. Building Department?
Yes, for the month of January, the department issued 128 permits for construction activities. A total of 128 inspections were conducted, 10 fire inspections were conducted, and 42 use and occupancy certificates were issued. The fire marshal also responded to 28 incidents during working hours and conducted 1 burning complaint investigation.
And Lionville Fire Company?
Good evening. The Lionville Fire Company responded to 74 incidents during the month of January, 37 in Euclid, 9 in Upper Euclid, 8 in West Pikeland, and 20 in other municipalities. This brings our year-to-date total to 74.
And is there anyone here from Euclid Ambulance? Yes.
Good evening, Supervisors. January 2026, the service responded to 257 calls. 125 of those calls were in Euclid Township. Of those, 48 were advanced life support calls, 73 were basic life support calls, and 5 were fire calls, and 70% of those resulted in transport to the hospital. Thank you.
Wonderful, thank you. All right, is there a motion to approve the reports?
I'll make a motion to approve the reports.
Any board questions or comments? No. I just wanted to comment with all the snow events, my appreciation for the township staff and all the snow removal and plowing. I know you guys were out for quite a bit, cleaning that up, did a good job. Is there any public comment? All right, seeing none, I'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. All right, moving into tonight's business agenda. First, we have the ceremonial swearing in of Chief James Fisher. Mr. Cagle, I think was going to share a few words.
I'm going to give a couple of words real quick. Good evening, everybody. And tonight's certainly a special moment for Euclid Township as we formally recognize and celebrate the appointment of our new Chief of Police. Although Chief Fisher officially began his duties on Tuesday, February 3rd, and was sworn in at that time so he could immediately assume command, this evening's ceremony gives the board, staff, family, the police department, and the community the opportunity to mark the occasion together. Just a bit of background about the process which led us to Chief Fisher. The board conducted a thorough and professional search process to identify the right leader for the future of our police department. We were assisted by our human resources consultant, Roseanne McGrath, and retired Lower Merion Police Superintendent Mike McGrath. The search attracted candidates from the local, regional, and national levels, and finalists also participated in a rigorous assessment center conducted by Safe City Solutions, which helped ensure we selected a leader with the experience, temperament, and leadership style our police department and community deserve. Chief Fisher brings more than 3 decades of law enforcement experience to Euclid Township. His career includes service with the Pennsylvania State Police and most recently as Chief of Police in Upper Pottsgrove Township in Montgomery County. His background includes executive leadership, patrol and investigative oversight, policy development, and a strong commitment to community-focused policing. Throughout the interview and assessment process, it was clear that Chief Fisher values teamwork, officer development, professionalism, and building trust with the community, all of which align with the standards this board and our residents expect from our police department. We're fortunate to have a strong police department with dedicated leadership at every level. The entire department standing behind the board here, officers, sergeants, and we can't forget Jamie and Allie, who keep the office running, have continued to serve this community every day with professionalism, resilience, and integrity. We really can't begin to thank you enough. Speaking of thanks and appreciation, I also want to recognize Detective Sergeant Jim Hall, who served as officer in charge for the department during the brief transition period. Jim, thank you for your steady leadership and professionalism in ensuring continuity of operations. We're honored this evening to have Magisterial District Judge Paige Simmons here to administer the ceremonial oath of office. Judge Simmons, thank you for joining us. And at this time, I'd like to invite Chief Fisher and his family to come forward for the swearing-in ceremony. Hold up. All right.
James H. Fisher,
James H. Fisher,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States,
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and that I will discharge the duty of Chief of Police
and that I will discharge the duties of Chief of Police
in Euclid Township, Chester County,
in Euclid Township, Chester County,
with fidelity.
with fidelity.
Congratulations, Chief.
Thank you. Bobby stole most of what I probably would have said. Board of Supervisors, Bobby, the people involved in the selection process, I'd like to thank them for the opportunity and the trust they place in me. I won't let you down. I'd also like to thank my wife. I think anyone who works in government, whether it's public works, police, or have to have supportive family that understand when that call comes in 2:00 in the morning and they don't get too upset with it. So thank you. I love you. I'd also like to thank my coworkers, friends, mentors that are here tonight. I really appreciate it. And the chiefs I'm going to be working with in the future. And lastly, I'd like to thank you guys for what you do every night, every day. You're the folks that respond to emergencies, respond to calls for service, whether it's at 2 a.m. or 7 a.m. So thank you. I look forward to supporting you and working with you. So I'm really excited. Thank you. You guys usually do pictures.
Love pictures. Should we take a picture? Wait, picture taking? Maybe in front. Just have you guys put it.
Slide.
Well, that's okay. That's for you. This is for you.
I think you improved the picture by blocking me out.
I don't.
You good people or people,
Yeah.
the diehards.
They've been in 100% of our meetings in 2026.
And everybody leaves the room. Was it something we said?
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Get better soon. On our eyes.
They just, I don't know. I don't remember.
Hey, Tara. Wow. There they all go. Come on.
Sounds like a lot more fun out there. All right, I don't know why they always leave. All right, with that, we will move on to number 2 on our business agenda, which is appointments to our committees for 2026. We have A, Marty Andreyko to the Planning Commission as an alternate member, and B, Kate Carpenter to the Historical Commission.
It's recommended the board appoint Marty Andreyko to the Planning Commission as an alternate member for a term ending December 31st, 2029, and recommended the board appoint Kate Carpenter to the Historical Commission for a term ending December 31st, 2028.
Okay, is there a motion?
I make a motion to appoint Marty Andreyko to the Planning Commission as an alternate member and, and Kate Carpenter to the Historical Commission.
Second.
Any board questions or comments?
No.
Any public comment? Seeing none, I'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Number 3, utility billing clerk.
I'm pleased to share that we've hired Stacy McKinney into the part-time utility billing clerk position. She actually began today, so she can spend some time under training under Denise Johnson, who's retiring at the end of March. Stacy comes to us with more than 2 decades of administrative and financial operations experience, most recently serving as an assistant business manager for a multi-market media organization, where she handled payroll processing, accounts payable and receivable, and employee onboarding. Her background in high-volume financial transactions, data accuracy, and process improvement will be a strong asset to our finance team. There's no action required.
Thank you. Number 4, permission to advertise, Chapter 99, brush, grass, weeds, and trees amendment.
We're seeking permission to advertise a comprehensive update to Chapter 99 of the Township Code. This ordinance is really a modernization of our existing grass and vegetation rules. It keeps the basic property maintenance expectations in place, things like cutting overgrown grass, maintaining sidewalks and sight lines, and addressing problem trees, but it also updates the chapter to reflect how landscaping practices have evolved. We formally recognize managed native meadows as an allowed and beneficial landscape option, as long as they're intentionally planned, maintained, and don't create safety or nuisance issues. The ordinance also addresses invasive plant species and cleans up our enforcement procedures so notice, abatement, and cost recovery are clearer, more consistent, and less administratively burdensome. Overall, this strikes a balance between neighborhood appearance, public safety, and environmental stewardship.
I'll make a motion to permit advertising of the Chapter 99 brush, grass, weeds, and tree amendment.
I second.
Any board questions or comments?
No.
Any public comment? Seeing none, I'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Number 5, permission to advertise Verizon Cable Franchise Agreement Authorization.
We're seeking permission to advertise an ordinance approving a new cable franchise renewal agreement with Verizon Pennsylvania LLC. Cable franchise agreements allow providers to use township rights of way to deliver cable service, and in return, the township receives franchise fee revenue and establishes service standards for residents. We receive a little over $300,000 per year in total cable franchise fees, including Verizon, although those continue to decline. This 5-year renewal maintains the township's ability to collect up to a 5% franchise fee, strengthens our audit rights to ensure payments are accurate, and includes enforceable customer service standards that benefit our residents.
I make a motion to approve the permission to advertise for the Verizon Cable franchise agreement authorization.
I'll second.
Any board questions or comments? Any public comment? All right, that'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Number 6, Rockwell Development LLC extension request.
Yes, we received an email from Allison Zarro of Riley Riper on behalf of the applicant, granting the extension in which to hold the hearing for the tentative PRD plan until June 11th. I do just want to also add that we are looking to hold a planning commission meeting on Monday, March 16th at 6 p.m. In order to discuss the plan further.
Okay. I need to take. Okay, thank you. All right, with that, I'll draw your attention to the announcements that are listed at the bottom of this evening's agenda for upcoming meetings and events within the township. And I will open up the meeting to any public comments. Do we have any? There was nobody on the list. Okay. All right, seeing no public comments, that I will ask if there is a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I will second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Right.
We are going to proceed to the.
Yes, I was just gonna say, we will be holding a hotel license hearing for the Suburban Studios. Doesn't even need to take a break, or can we move right into that?
Good.
I'm ready to go.
You want to get?
Yeah, we'll just
Okay.
move right into it.
You ready? So, thank you, Madam Chair. So tonight we are continuing a hearing of the regarding the license application for the Suburban Hotel. You may recall we previously had a hearing on the record. And a few months ago, a number of events have happened since then that we thought was appropriate to make sure also was on the record. So we're reopening the record. The reopening of the record was advertised in the Daily Local on January 31st, 2026. So we'll ask that the proof of advertising be marked as Exhibit B10. And with that, I turn it over to Mr. Cagle.
Thank you. As Mr. Freed said, we just wanted to add some additional background and information on the record. So prior to the hearing on December 8th, 2025, we had received 3 requests for stays beyond the ordinance limits from the Suburban Hotel. And that was addressed on the record in the last hearing. After the conclusion of that hearing, that same evening, I spoke with Ms. Gonzalez, the Suburban Hotel manager, about the additional information we required to be able to evaluate the requests for stays beyond the ordinance limits. We didn't receive any of that follow-up information, so those requests were never approved. On December 31st, 2025, we received a phone call from a woman who was staying at the Suburban. She said her and her family woke up to find a notice on their door saying they had to leave by Sunday, January 4th, 2026. She indicated she had a sizable family staying with her, and they had been living at the hotel and had nowhere else to go. She indicated others had similar notices on their doors. The woman who called was not someone who the hotel had requested an extension on the stay limits for. We took action by requesting the hotel not put anyone on the street homeless, and there would be a follow-up meeting. On January 12th, 2026, we had a meeting with the Exton/Chester Hotel, Spark Hotel, and Suburban Hotel. We chose these 3 hotels because they were the hotels we believed may have had people staying beyond the ordinance limits. At the meeting, I explained to the hotel representatives that the township had amended our ordinance to limit stays to no more than 28 consecutive days or no more than 28 days within any 35-day period. I also explained that from that point forward, no one would be allowed to stay beyond the limits without an exemption, and we were developing a form to be able to request exemptions. I also explained that we wanted to bring the county's Department of Human Services on site to each of those 3 hotels to work with those who had nowhere else to go to receive the supportive services they needed to find permanent housing. On Wednesday, January 14th, the county was on site at the Suburban Studios and met with 2 households, 1 large family and 1 veteran. Last week, we finalized an exemption request form and put up a page on our website about the hotel licensing process and how hotels may request an exemption for guests beyond the stay limits. On Friday, February 6th, we received exemption requests from the Suburban for 3 households, all of who indicated they had no permanent housing and were working with the county to find permanent housing. 2 of the 3 requests were new requests, and 1 of the requests was part of the 3 that had been submitted back in December. All 3 requests were approved today for a 2-week extension of their stay limit, with a condition that new requests are submitted every 2 weeks as those households continue working with the county to find permanent housing. Also on Friday, at their request, a 1-page overview of the ordinance and a link to the exemption form and the informational webpage was sent to the Pennsylvania Restaurant and Lodging Association so they could educate their membership. And today, a memo was sent to all of the hotels within the township with the exemption request form and a link to the website so they are aware of the ordinance and the exemption request process.
And Madam Chair, if I could just add that in addition to the public notice that ran in the newspaper, public notice was delivered to the hotel by the township, and I also spoke to the hotel's counsel, letting him know about tonight's hearing.
Thank you. Is the applicant here this evening?
That's a yes for the.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Kegel. I'm fully prepared to make a motion to take action on the business license application this evening. However, I do want to note my disappointment with how the communication has occurred throughout this process. The reason that we had these hearings to begin with was a non-compliance issue and complaints that were brought to the township regarding life and safety issues on the premises. The township has put resources into this issue throughout the last few years, and as a result, did amend the ordinance for our hotels, motels, and inns to address those issues. However, it's only going to be successful if both the township and the business community works as a partnership to talk about the ordinance and the enforcement measures and communicate in both directions. I was very disappointed to learn after our last hearing that there was information that was not accurate presented, which resulted in families worrying about their housing stability. As I have stated repeatedly throughout this process, the intention of the ordinance was not ever to create a situation where families were out in the streets or in a situation where they had an emergent need to secure housing. So I would just stress moving forward that we continue to cooperatively communicate on these issues. And again, it has to be based in honesty. I think that the township has put a lot of resources recently into bringing in services to assist people that need them in the community, clients in the hotels and motels. And certainly it is our intention to make sure that they are well cared for and that we're not creating additional health and safety issues, and in fact, addressing health and safety issues that were occurring. So I just wanted that to be on the record this evening.
And before there's a motion, ma'am, can I just ask that you identify yourself for the record? Okay, and can you spell your name? Thank you.
Are there any other comments from board members?
Then I'm in agreement with you. I'll save you some typing by not repeating.
All right, well, with that, I would make a motion to approve the application as submitted for the 2026 window.
I'll second.
Any other board questions or comments?
No.
Is there any public comment? All right, seeing none, I'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
We will close the hearing. Thank you.